Hello, this is Christopher Ongoing for Real Masterminds, and it's been a while. What we were originally going to plan was supposed to come out about a month after we filmed.
Space, the final frontier.
So we say, sorry, but we're back, and today we're going to be talking about Dino Fury, which is the new Power Rangers series based on Ryu Soldiers. It just gave off, new Zords, Dino theme. What Hasbro did, it's, from the looks of it, even we'll say the theme is it doesn't do well with just getting creative. It's just different tone, same lyrics. Go, go, Color Rangers! Dino Fury! Go, go, Color Rangers! Dino Fury! Evolution, revolution, as people have been saying. Alright, what's the revolution for? Is the Dino's going to take over? If anything, it's more or less just the main antagonists, as they call it, the Sporex. That are the villains, which are based in the Monsters of the League. Key thing, the little Sporex looks more like what I called Ivan Ooze's children.
Well, meet my kids.
It really does feel like I'm watching Ivan Ooze's children being born. Void Knight, aka Guy Sorg. First impressions, easy, bad guy, nothing really wow. In the original, Guy Sorg was a brute. He beat all the Ryu soldiers like they were kids. It felt like the big bully in the park. That's what it felt like. The thing is, they're making him out more so as just an evil villain who wants to find the energy source he's looking for.
This must be it. Sporix? They're Sporix! That's the energy I detected! That I need!
And in the very first episode, the Red Ranger told Void Knight, "Where'd you get that armor?" It's like, "I found it." That was the part that really so he knew what the armor was. And if anything, it might be a reference to a fallen warrior.
65 million years ago, the Sporix were unleashed on my planet, Rafcon. They hatched into ferocious beasts.
Watching the very first episode, I definitely say, okay, we get to look at what the Pink Ranger is all about.
And speaking of stories, I have a great idea for Buzz Blast.
Fantastic, Amelia. As long as it's not about some paranormal nonsense.
Well...
And her reason for being a reporter who wants to believe in the supernatural. Carry on my wayward son! Which is okay. Blue Ranger as the archaeologist's son, and the mother, the archaeologist. And much like everyone else has pointed out that in Beast Morphers, the mother was the commander and he was the son. The clear difference between Super Sentai and the Power Rangers ones. I'm only going to go with the pink and blue for now. The pink one in Ryu Soldiers was headstrong and always hungry, and actually had great strength. Then you had the blue, who was wise and knowledgeable. In the Americans, they try to represent it as they took classes both in fencing. Well, Blue took fencing and karate, while she only had about a few months worth of karate. Yet they represent it as a way that she could, the both of them, to say that they have the experience, but they don't really know how to fight. They tried doing so without actually making the characters look like they actually know how to fight.
Any ideas?
I've done 3 years of karate.
Yeah, me too. And 6 years of fencing.
Okay, so you want to take the lead?
What?
And one of the many tropes that I really don't like, when they keep doing that, they say they don't know how to fight. Yet, when they morph, automatically know how to use their weapons or, jump, kick, punch, like they're an expert. Now, going on to the red Dino Fury, Zato. I liked how they went about his backstory, that he's more so an ancient warrior who fought the Sporks on their world, along with several other knights. And when the war didn't do so well on their planet, they went to Earth, fought it to Earth. It was cool. And when the monsters grew...
Magic one! Make my Goldar grow!
And made things worse. At that magical moment in time, the Morphin Masses appeared. Which, I definitely say, I'm glad they introduced that into the series. Because in the comics, they were more of like the guardians of the Morphin Grid. And then they used the scene from the last fight in Rio Soldiers as like what their Megazords will look like. And also show the power-ups at the same time. It's spoiling good parts. Zato, as I could definitely say, is the regional fighter, aka the veteran. And going back to story, the Morph Masters gave them power to morph, giving them morphers and, the costumes. But I still say, it's something, The Robo Dinosaurs, I would understand it since Zato was cryogenically frozen. Maybe the dinosaur itself was frozen in its own little pod. And when Void Knight actually attacked, or when the archaeologist, aka Blue's mother, did the little scan, he saw the lights flare up on the statues, which is another thing I had to say. You basically petrified dinosaurs. Why? That's horrible. That's horrible. It's like, oh, we good friends. I don't understand. It's more of just a symbol rather than the actual dinosaurs themselves frozen in the stone. If anything, their actual essence are transformed into the Megazords. Conscious and all. Going back to the whole, during the fight with Void Knight, he comes in, fights Void Knight after, before the whole Void Knight versus Zato, what they represent as the minions for the bad guys actually were as they called henchmen. Haha, play with words. I saw what you did there, Hasbro. Americans actually created the same Ryuso key. Well, I'm saying Ryuso key. I don't know what they're going to call it. Fury key? Power key? Oh, parakeet. They created a key, and apparently the minions of the weak and/or the minions of the bad guys actually were mini soldiers to the Dino Fury Rangers, creating the minions of the bad guys as actually soldiers or autonomous soldiers for the Dino Furies was a smart idea and made a key for it. And then Void Knight grabs it and is like, yeah, this is mine now. Another thing I really didn't like, what Zato did, turn the sword into a dagger.
Too slow. I've got plenty more tricks. Dino Dagger!
Which I'm like, why, if anything, if you're gonna make something, have it aesthetically pleasing. Not some chunky plastic thing you're gonna stick into like the hilt and then just chuck it. It didn't make any sense. When the Rangers demorphed, apparently the morphing thing turned into what the Kira Major thing looked like. But yeah, so there were series before Rio Soldiers, because Rio Soldiers were the new thing that happened. I really don't know why they had to pick Dino Knights for the Americans. I mean, seriously, why go back to Dinos, even though it just literally came out a year ago? Well, actually, the last season before Kira Majors. It made no sense, but they decided on doing so for the last one, even though the very first series was a Dino theme, and the last series is going to be a Dino theme, but sure, why not? You could have easily gone with space. Possibly appearing on the rover in a scene. I was like, you know, them on Mars fighting a monster. They want to go with Dino theme, so sure, why not? You have two unknowns. One who, the Red, being the last, well, apparently the last Ranger. And from what we saw in the very first episode, looks more wise. And if anything, he's going to be actually much more of a commander than much over an actual, you know, leader. In which he's actually going to have more wisdom and will train both the pink and the blue of their new Ranger powers. You got to think about, you know, the commander, because the Dino thing, Dino Cyborg Psychic thing, if anything, Alpha 5. I'm going with that reference. Now, how they're going to incorporate that, if anything, the Sporix, which would be the Monsters of the Week, which doesn't give it as much risk as you would think. It doesn't give it the same, you know, level like what's going to happen? Are they going to be, you know, making a choice of either, you know, saving the day or letting the person die? But yeah, in and of itself, Real Soldiers was a completely different beast to the dubbed down, or we'll say watered down version of what Dino Fury was. And I gotta say, for beginning, it was much more lighthearted, but it didn't have that flair. A lot of people who love Super Sentai definitely would say they definitely liked Ryu Soldiers. Yes, in Ryu Soldiers you get a whole little like dance when they actually put in the key.
ウリュウはみんなで紡ぎ合って繋いでいく未来を作るためなんだ。それが俺たちの騎士道だ。行くぞみんな。竜像天使騎士竜装ブルー冒険の騎士竜装ピンク疾風の騎士竜装グリーン威風の騎士竜装ブラック栄光の騎士竜装ゴールド
Real Soldiers as a whole, still love it I will say I still like the series. What Dino Fury will do, I most likely just water down a whole bunch of stuff. And for my initial idea, I'd say beginning, like first episode, an 8 out of 10. But thus far, I mean, they had somewhat of a good start. Especially with the Morphin Masters. Yes, for the Morphin Masters. I'm definitely for that. Thumbs up to that one. using someone's idea from the comics, even though it is part of Power Rangers, and making it into reality, thumbs up for that one. I give that thumbs up. You know what? It's how you go about it. I would like to see, if anything, my thoughts ahead in the next few, episodes. The whole gold one. If anything, if the gold did survive the whole battle and collecting the sporks. If anything, the whole Atlantis idea. To go along with the Pink Ranger's idea of, like, what about myth and legends? What about ghosts? Another thing I forgot to talk about. Why does she have a net if she's gonna capture ghosts?
This might come as a shock, but no one likes a bully.
Why? Astral being has no physical body. You basically wasted money on a trap that's meant for humans and or probably Bigfoot. Bigfoot, you have a better chance. If anything, Ghostbuster thing.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
But it doesn't make sense. Why you have a fishing net that actually has electricity going through it? It doesn't help. Thinking, oh yeah, ghosts have physical body. Electricity will work. No! No! Ghosts are intangible. They don't really appear. If anything, they appear in a fraction of a second. Just to give you... Even though other people are like, why would you do that? Why do you have a net that electrifies? To capture ghosts? If anything, if it hit me, I would basically be saying the exact same thing to her. Another thing. The theme. The weird thing is, Dino Fury was not even straight to the point. It was as chopped up as it could be. And then you have Dino Thunder. Which, oof.
Dino Rangers roar, Power Rangers score. Save us from these evil forces. Power Rangers Dino Thunder.
Still hits the mark every time. And then the granddaddy of it all, Mighty Morphin.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
First season. Mix of second season. Because that led up to the Thunder Resorts. Because, as a whole, when you start something, you go with that train. And the beauty part is, in the original, the transition to different things actually made better sense. Even though there were some little bit tiny plot holes. And then when they did that to Megaforce, aka Angels, in Super Sentai. Yeah. Not a great transition. Because they are clearly pirates in Super Megaforce. Yes, I'm going back to that. I am going back to that, but I'm going to stop right there because any further, I'm just going to lose it. Compose. Tommy, help me.
Green Ranger, go!
My input of it was more or less, I give it an 8 out of 10. For Ryu Soldiers, a 10 out of 10. I would like to at least see them actually incorporate more things from the original. Just don't water it down too much. I hope it be good. This is Christopher Ungehoyer for Real Masterminds, and we will see you next time.
I am very proud of all of you. As Power Rangers, you have served your planet well. But the Power Rangers as you have known them are gone forever.